Ramble.
Ooh-wee, Eugene, I'm thirsty.
Thirsty for what?
For Coors Seltzer.
Wait, is it alcoholic?
Yeah, it's alcoholic. Coors Seltzer is not your average seltzer. It's rooted in Coors' long history of sustainability, and they were inspired by a generation that wants to do good in the world with a mission to restore America's rivers.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
Rivers. Yeah, check this out. Coors Seltzer is launching the world's easiest volunteer program. Whatever you're doing, by simply cracking open a can of Coors Seltzer, you're volunteering.
Because our waterways are at risk. 80% of America's rivers are drying up, Keith. Through a partnership with Change the Course, Coors Seltzer is helping to protect and restore America's rivers.
They got 4 flavors. Enjoy the naturally flavored black cherry, mango, lemon lime, and grapefruit. And the specs are in. Coors Seltzer is 4.5% ABV and only 90, count 'em, 90 calories. I myself love the mango. You know, it's a hot summer. We're in a heat wave constantly in LA, and mango's that refreshing sweetness that keeps you coming back for more.
So join the world's easiest volunteer program by simply drinking Coors Seltzer. You can volunteer to restore America's rivers. You buy Coors Seltzer, you help restore 500 gallons of water into America's rivers. It's that simple.
Visit CoorsSeltzer.com to find Coors Seltzer near you.
That's CoorsSeltzer.com.
For every 12-pack sold through 8/31/2021, Coors will purchase services from Change the Course to restore 500 gallons of fresh river water. Details at CoorsSeltzer.com. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you to Coors Seltzer, Talkspace, Caliper, and DoorDash for sponsoring today's episode of the TryPod.
Quantum of
Quantum of Solace.
Go finger.
That
That's a good one.
That one's got to be top 5.
I don't know why this is hyping me up. Eugene
I'm
looks dead.
excited.
Eugene looks like his soul has
We're
left his
talking about
body.
your top 5.
Here we
Bond
go.
theme
I'm just
Bring us
hyping
in.
myself up,
Bring us
man.
in,
All
There's
Eugene.
one for each
Bring us
Bond
in.
movie.
Hey guys, it's the TryPod. It's Zach, Ned, Keith, Eugene, Miles. Here we are.
Yeah.
Aw,
We're
let's
feeling
keep
good.
talking about Bond songs.
So, election's coming up. World's on fire. Everything is terrible.
We said we would keep
So,
it light.
here's
We
your
said we
fucking
would
comedy
keep it
podcast. Here we go.
chill.
Well, Miles
Having a
asked
great
Eugene
time.
to open it.
Yeah,
and
here we
she
go.
didn't want
Being
to.
myself.
You
Here
know
we
what's
are.
funny? Right before the podcast
What the
started,
hell?
Eugene said, "Look, I think that our job, we're the comedy podcast. We're gonna be the light. We're just gonna be some fun." It is something, Eugene. You and I have been talking about. The closer we get to the election, the more fatigued we are thinking about and talking about the election. So I think we just all want to do anything else right now.
Yeah, we're also releasing tons of content in our other areas that are constantly talking about the election.
Well, just this week.
Well, this week, but also on our social media.
That's
It's-
true.
It's getting a little grueling, but it's worth it. But I think in the TryPod, this is a space to let yourselves relax.
You got GOTV, baby.
Yeah.
Get out the vote.
Vote it out, girl.
I
What
got
did I
my
just
ballots
say?
yesterday. I was worried they
Oh, you
weren't
got
coming.
yours.
I was worried they weren't coming because it said they mailed them to me on October 5th. And then it said they mailed them out October 7th. Still didn't have them. And today was the 14th. I'm like, they're not coming. And then you know what? They came.
You know, it's terrifying. Someone broke into the mailbox in my building. I live in an apartment complex.
Whoa.
So they opened it up and all the mail was taken. Yeah, which I was like, why the fuck you want my mail, dude? Like, maybe steal my Amazon boxes. Maybe.
I mean, if they know you're the host of the TryPod, you get those free goodies in the mail from
that's
the
true.
sponsors.
That's true. I get my underwear
That's-
and all that.
Honestly, they don't even have to pay me sometimes. I'll just
love
get
it.
it for the free stuff.
Love that. But I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God, like, did my ballot get stolen? Did Lindsey Graham fly to Los Angeles and steal my ballot personally?
He's like the Grinch.
Yeah. Well, how the Grinch stole the election. That's a movie I would watch.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like Lindsey Graham's like Boss Nass from Star Wars Episode 1.
So we're gonna do comedy today, yeah?
Yeah, what the
feeling
fuck
good.
did I just say?
I'm not doing
You just
comedy
literally made me
today.
think about like voter suppression,
But
what's
also,
happening in
also
Texas,
it
long
made
lines
you
in
think about
Georgia.
Boss Nass.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about what happens in
Boss
California.
Nass.
We already know no one's stealing our ballots.
Misa have peace. That would be funny if Lindsey Graham said Misa have peace, though. Wow.
Peace have peace.
What will make you happy, Gene? Let's.
Oh,
We've
boy.
steamrolled your sadness, and I feel bad. People should be allowed. We talked about that all last week. People should be allowed to be.
But come on, guys. Last week was the episode where we were all in our feelings. We gotta bring it right back.
So
We are
what is-
Webby Award-winning comedians.
Okay,
What?
I'll take it. I went to New Mexico, not old Mexico.
Oh, whoa.
And let me tell you, I saw a lot of Border Patrol police.
Jeez.
I had to pass through, and this is
Nice, guys.
I'm telling you,
What the
The fuck? We
This
had
is
a plan.
daily life.
We said we were going to be the
Well,
laugh 'em up
I
podcast.
thought that would make
you
us
did
laugh.
so many other
Escapism.
things on your trip.
Well,
the
I-
one thing you bring up is that you saw border control agents.
I patrol. First of all, they don't control the border; they
It's not
patrol it.
paw
But I-
control.
I
Wait,
just
it's,
didn't
it's border
expect-
patrol, not border control.
Yeah, patrol.
I'm pretty sure it's border control.
I mean, they might control, but they're
No, it's
supposed to
not.
patrol.
Yeah, it is. When you go to the airport, it's like you go to border control.
Border patrol.
It's like, oh, I gotta show my passport to border control.
Well, I've got just the perfect thing to cheer Eugene up, gang. Keith, check your email.
What?
I sent you a secret email that somebody wrote in to have be read on the podcast.
Okay.
Eugene, you're really going to love this one. It's a cutie, and they are in middle school, and
my
this is
gosh.
about the dance. Keith?
Ooh, I'm ready to. It starts cute. It starts cute. You ready?
I don't know that I am.
My secret name is Sandy Andy. Whatever you guys decided, it's Sandy Andy now.
Oh yeah, my people.
You guys are my first choice for this rant. It has to do with boys and dances. So, in my school, wait, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will say that it's overly expensive because it's the top school in Vancouver. And it's written with all the goofy ups and downs capitals. And we're always competing with York House.
Ugh.
Did I tell you my school is all girls? It is the drama that happens when you put a school of over 2,000 girls together. Anyways, my school goes K to 12, and this is my last year before high school, and grade 7 is literally the best grade ever. You get to do all the school assemblies, you get to organize sports day, you get a special going away assembly, and a special sash. You are allowed to order the kids around. And the main thing, you get to go to socials with all the boys' school.
Is that
And
something the sash unlocks? You get to boss people around with it?
Yeah.
I think so. And you get to dance with boys. What? I haven't seen a boy since preschool. Because of the way our all-girls schools works. And I don't do any out-of-school extracurriculars. My question to you is, how do I go to dances without freaking out? What are they like? And what are boys even like? Are they gross? Do they smell weird? I haven't seen one in forever, and I'm not even kidding. What do you wear? What happens at the dances? Do you even dance?
Oh, there's a lot of questions.
Help me. I'm ready for this question.
Okay,
Because-
Keith, go.
And I have a good experience because I worked at an all-boys camp. And at that all-boys camp, as a counselor,
Did they
we
ask
also...
the same questions?
Well, no, but we went to an all-girls camp, and I literally was to like do a dance, and I literally was standing there with the boys and girls on either side of the floor, like it was a movie.
This is a movie
And
moment. I love it.
grabbed one of the female counselors from their camp and had to break open the dance floor so that it would like lessen the mood. And then they all were dancing, and it was like so adorable. It was like in Heavyweights, that scene where they're like not sure, and then they're all doing it. And also, I saw a boy and a girl kissing. You know what I did? Not stop them.
Yeah.
I was like, they're fucking, it's time. This is where kids, all they were doing was kissing. You gotta let them kiss. Have a little kiss. You have a little growing up memory. I kissed a girl at a camp, and I liked it.
I kissed a girl at camp and I liked
And
it.
I'm telling you, girl, guess what? This first dance is gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It's good. You're gonna see somebody cry. Absolutely, you are, and you're gonna see.
What are they going to be crying about?
Oh, I don't know, a misconnection. You know, you're gonna think that you're gonna fall in love, and maybe you will. Probably you won't. But you know what? I would say go in and grab a couple girls and go up to a group of a couple guys and ask everyone to dance together. Lessen the stigma
this
of one at a
advice.
time, and then you will naturally break out into one-on-one dances, but that first step of going up to a single boy and asking them to dance is intimidating. And guess what? They're intimidated too. Everybody's freaked the fuck out. Everybody's freaked the fuck out. It's scary as shit. Those boys also haven't seen a girl since preschool. And at this point, they don't even know what makes boys and girls different.
I can almost guarantee that the boys at this dance are going to be more freaked out than she is. They're going to be all in their head being like, oh, how do I do? What do I do with my body? Because they got these crazy hormones flying around. They can't control themselves.
I have no point of comparison, but yeah, as a middle school boy, I was definitely freaked out.
And I would say pop music has gotten a lot sexier than when I was a child. And I remember when they were saying, like, if they, I kind of think that some of those crazy parents were right when they were like, if we let them sing about this, who knows what they're going to be singing about next? And now we are singing about wet ass pussies. And I guess, maybe they were right, but I'm not against it. Right. I'm just saying, yes, they were right. It did get sexier and sexier and sexier.
I don't know, man. I was dancing to Genuine's Pony as a kid.
I guess that
Right.
Men were singing about their dicks all
That's
the
true.
fucking time.
That's true.
But as a middle schooler, I thought that was about horses.
I also didn't quite get it.
I remember my mom singing, is it a Flo Rida song about, like, I want to blow your whistle, babe? And not realizing that it was just a blowjob song, like singing it around the house. We're totally constantly ignorant about how dirty our lyrics are.
Yeah, I want to lick you from your head to your toes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
it's
that
like,
one is nuts.
That could mean anything.
You guys didn't dance to From the Windows to the Wall?
Well, eventually, yes.
Yeah.
My neck, my crack.
Yeah, it was always dirty.
Except that
Elvis
it was always muted half of the song. So it'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
from the window to the walls, to the wall, to the sweat drop down my... Oh, these crawl.
And the one, naughty kid yells it out loud.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
Yelling skeet as long as he can.
Corey, stop.
Skeet,
Corey.
You ever have a kid who literally just said skeet, skeet in the hall? Because I
100%.
did growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Skeet, skeet. Skeet, skeet.
It's like a pretty cool thing to do. It's
was.
like pretty popular.
It's very similar to the yelling out penis on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Penis game. I got one more thing for Sandy Andy.
What you got?
And I love your advice of, like, dance with your friends and try and dance with another group of
Friends.
boyfriends. Not your boyfriends, just friends who are boys.
Oh.
But, like, I would say don't measure the success of the dance by whether or not you get a one-on-one dance. Like, go in there for fun and go in there for fun with your friends.
Sounds like Sleep No More to me. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with Sleep No More, but part of going to Sleep No More is you get one-on-ones with cast members. I don't know. My mind has been thinking about Sleep No More because I'm worried it'll never exist again. But go back to the dance. Anyway, Sleep No More is an amazing theatrical experience in New York. Who knows if it'll ever exist again.
Unless someone grabs you and brings you into a dark corner and shows you a little dove in their hand.
Yeah.
You're just watching the orgy scene over and over.
Yeah. Which is
We're getting off
Sleep
base for
No More
middle
is
school.
not like a
Not
middle
a
school
problem.
dance.
I think you should go there
Anyways.
for fun. Don't come up with these like you have to check these boxes for it to be a success. Put yourself out there, have a good time, and just try and enjoy yourself.
There's also snacks. There's
yeah.
conversation.
Hell yeah.
You can get real hopped up on Sprite.
What were you guys like
yeah.
at dances when you were a kid? Because I was terrible at them and very nervous.
I assumed I was fantastic. I think I went in with way too much confidence, and I would definitely dance hard. Not good dancing.
Hard dancing. I would dance so much I got real sweaty.
But would you dance with girls?
Yeah. I was pretty confident about approaching girls and dancing. My
Edwards.
mom forced me to do this ballroom dancing class.
Oh my God.
Which was embarrassing at the time. But one thing they made us do in that class was go up and ask individual people to dance. Guys and girls would both it would be basically they get all the girls in the line, all the guys in the line, and then it would be all right, everybody find a partner.
Yeah.
And that was I don't know, just practice at. Then when you're in the school dance, it's well, okay, I just walk up and ask somebody to dance, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Eugene, was grinding in your middle school as big as it was in mine? Because it was crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of grinding. We had grinding, but we had, we're in the South, so we also had country music. So there was a lot of people did line dances.
No.
You had Walk the Line by Shania
Yeah.
Twain. That came on, everyone did the same line dance.
How does everyone know the dance?
Because it's a line dance.
Somehow
What
you
does that
just,
mean? I
You
don't
just
know it.
them.
It's
are you
just
talking
like
about?
yeah, it's like a
You just
cultural
know it?
thing.
It's in the water.
Yeah.
Just know it?
It's like how you know
Yeah.
the electric slide, and once you've been to one party that does it, you know the dance.
Cha-cha now, y'all.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I would say 90% of line dances are comprised of the exact same moves in different orders.
Yeah,
So like
step,
you
step,
can very
crossover, heel
quickly
toe,
pick it
turn.
out. It's like
Yeah.
a grapevine, a couple lean forwards, lean
and
backs.
then repeat it 4 different directions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And if you don't know it, you can pretty much fake it.
Yo, listeners, we're interrupting our tripod to remind you that shit is crazy, and it is okay to feel like shit is really crazy, and it's okay to want to take some steps to help improve your mental being, and something that can help you do that is Talkspace. Talkspace is online therapy. You can connect with a licensed therapist for a fraction of the price of in-person therapy, and you can get matched with your perfect therapist from the comfort of your device and reach out 24/7 whenever something is on your mind.
Yes, and the Talkspace network is composed of thousands of licensed therapists who have experience in over 40 specialties, including but not limited to treating depression, anxiety, substance abuse, trauma, relationship issues, food and eating, and much more.
I myself looked at Talkspace just to see like how easy it was to navigate and get matched, and it's incredibly easy. It's awesome. It's a great service, and I totally recommend it, especially if you might even be in an area, you might live in an area that's not easy to get to a therapist. I know when I grew up, I don't think there were any therapists in my town, so this really makes therapy super accessible, super easy, super painless, which is what it should be.
The bottom line is that we all need someone to talk to. Talkspace wants to give us the support we deserve at a price we can afford.
And as a listener of this podcast, you will get $100 off your first month on Talkspace. To match with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com or download the app, and make sure to use the code TRYGUYS to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's TRYGUYS and Talkspace.com.
But that's kind of what's great about, I think Sandy Andy has a very different situation because
Yes.
she is in an all-girl school.
Yeah.
The fact that she has never seen a boy for years, since preschool, that changes things because you do get a little bit of the dumb, antiquated gender politics as a child when you are with girls on the playground and with boys, and you're like, oh, they're gross, they have cooties. Oh, but I kind of like them. Oh, but you get some of that education that certainly doesn't carry over until
Cootie education.
yeah. I mean, really, honestly, the thing
Education.
about looking back on it, all that like really doesn't matter really until you're like maybe out of high school, you start getting your bearings. But even like in your 20s, you're still pretty stupid. But I would say here's some like hot tips, especially for dance.
Hot tips with Eugene for 7th grade girls.
And this is for actually, this is not for 7th grade girls. This is for life.
Wow.
Hot tips with Eugene
for life.
Girls.
7th grade girls.
Dance circles. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You see a dance circle,
Yeah.
you get it. It's a safe space.
Yes.
Now on top of dance
yeah.
circles are great.
Is it a
but
safe space?
Oh yeah.
yeah, you all stand in a circle and dance towards the center. Now here's what makes dance
Zach's
circles.
thinking of the ones where someone goes in the center and then everyone watches
No, that's
them.
part 2 of my tip.
That's
Yeah.
definitely not a safe
Not a safe
space.
No, no.
space for me.
But that's the thing is
You can't be bad.
you never have to go into the circle. You can always be part of the circle.
Yeah.
The best part of that is if you have a friend in your friend group who is a center circle person.
Which
Yes.
is you.
Which is me.
I feel like
Which is
Yeah.
this advice is coming from someone who's an incredible dancer.
But
this
it
is-
is
no,
very
this is
good
right.
to either have a great dancer or a very outgoing clownish person as a friend, because then you and the other people who join the circle start talking to each other about that friend. And that's how you start talking to other people. It's a very easy way to start chatting someone up because they'd be like, oh, who's that? And they're like, that's Keith.
That's true. I think
yeah.
some great advice in there is that even if you're part of a dance circle where everyone's going in the center, you don't have to feel pressure to go in the center. You can just watch.
I'm going to tell you that my middle school and high school experience very different. Anytime there was a dance circle, they would then they get to the person that doesn't want to dance and everyone starts chanting their name
true.
and they shove them. They literally
Yeah, that's true.
they literally would take my body and shove me into the middle of
Yeah.
the circle. Not a safe space.
But did they cheer for you?
Yeah, and then you like do like your little like goofy jiggy,
And then they
that's
cheered
all
for
you
you?
got. And
It's
then
great.
they give a smattering of applause.
Yeah, and then they move on to the next kid.
I'm saying it's preferred if you want to dance at a dance and not have the pressure of singling out a boy for a slow dance.
Yeah.
That is definitely. I mean, look, here's the deal. For me, everything gave me anxiety. I'm trying to be strong for Sandy Andy here, my namesake, but I feel your pain because every dance that I went to, basically until forever. I never had a dance that I felt comfortable at. I never was comfortable approaching people for dances. I was never comfortable dancing. Now that I'm in a relationship, I'm like, great, I can just fucking wiggle my body and no one cares.
I think it's also important, tip number 3, to inevitably find ways to incorporate opposite gender or people you might be attracted to into your friend group as friends. Like establish platonic relationships
100%.
with people, because this whole idea of like girls versus boys is just, it can carry into people's mentalities until they're like dead. And I think that's very damaging because they're always like, you're a potential romantic interest. And I think once you especially mature out of that, you're just like, oh, wait, I have like millions of friends who I could technically be attracted to, but I'm not attracted to them at all. That's something that would be great if they could establish it young. It's harder for her because she's
It's
in
harder.
girls' school. But
My best
you can hang out
friend
with boys outside of school.
in kindergarten was a girl because she lived next door to me. So like Casey and I were friends. We were
Casey
not
Smith.
Casey Smith. Now
Heard her
Bodmer. Shout out. But she like we were never romantic. We were always just friends. And like I think it was because we were friends platonically like from so long, from such a young age. And then other like I just went to a school with boys and girls, so I had tons of girl and boy friends. Like there wasn't romance. Now there were girls I had crushes on. Of course. Of course, there was some that I had crushes on, but they didn't pan out. They didn't say
We've
they didn't pan
spent
out.
so much time together that I know the full name of your kindergarten best friend.
Yeah, well, she was also my best friend until like through high school, and then until I moved away, and I'm still friends with her. She came to see our Legends of the Internet show.
Casey Smith.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did I meet
Bodmer.
Casey Smith?
Yeah. She had the daughters who were very shy.
Oh, they were cute.
Yeah, it was in that really nice downstairs where we all came out. We all had our own dressing room, and we all still walked around in our underwear anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's the one.
That's what we do.
It's in the movie coming out.
Oh.
I believe that scene is in the movie, but you don't see Casey.
Did you guys ever have the 3-finger rule? Do you know what that means?
Is that a sex thing, Miles?
No, not at
Okay.
all. Not a sex.
If you
In
can
fact,
fit 3 fingers in your mouth, you can dance with any girl you want.
talking about
yeah, girls are really impressed if you can put your whole hand in your
Yeah,
mouth.
dude, they are though. I definitely put my whole hand in my mouth. I can still do it.
Are you talking about like distance away that you're supposed to be from?
No,
someone you're
of
dancing
course,
with?
Ned. The 3-finger rule
I don't want to know what you think it is.
when you press down on a steak when it's cooking, and if your 3 fingers
Right.
don't.
Miles,
release
take it away.
moisture.
When you're filling up a glass of whiskey, 1 is
3
if you want to get a
fingers.
little drunk, 2 is if you want to party,
Oh,
and
3
3 is if you
fingers
want to
rule.
That's
forget
true.
everything.
Jesus. No, 3-finger rule was we were terrified of touching the girls when we'd be dancing with them. So we would only put 3 fingers on their waist because we were like, I know that I'm supposed to dance. I'm a middle schooler. I'm supposed to dance with a girl. That's like what we do. But I'm terrified and I don't want to touch them because I like know that I should, but it's weird and it freaks me out. And so we would just do like 3 fingers like a what alien has 3 fingers? E.T. And we just be like 3 fingers touching their waist. And then
I think this is
Why are you
Is that
keeping
not
this
a
not a
thing?
nationwide rule.
I thought that was a commonplace thing.
Well,
that-
the thumb needs to be closer to God. So
Yeah,
keep
I
the
would
thumb
say
up.
if anything, it was often you wanted to get closer together and like hold them more, but the chaperones
Yeah,
would
the
prevent,
teachers.
not everyone had a
Yeah.
chaperone as cool as Counselor
As
Keith.
Counselor Keith,
No.
it was very like, just go for it.
but
bro.
our teachers always said, leave room for Jesus.
yeah.
Yes.
That was
that
always
was-
the thing. Corey,
You needed like
Corey,
10
Amanda,
inches for Jesus.
leave room from Jesus.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like you had to be able to fit a balloon in between. you.
Uh-huh.
That was
And
we had a
so-
more secular interpretation.
At Hebrew school dances, they would say, part the Red Sea.
Oh,
Part the
yeah.
Red Sea.
That's-
Really?
No, I'm
Disgusting.
kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
I was like, that's cute. That's cute.
Eugene and Ned, because you're both in the South. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm going to exclude you here.
That's
for a
all right.
moment,
I'll
Zach.
say I can go to the bathroom.
We had like prom and the homecoming dance, which were like the official dances. But in my school, every single Friday night at the Happy J skating rink, which was just over the bridge, this is how you talk in the South. There was a dance, and this was not put on by the high school. It was just a dance, and it was just the only place that teenagers could go. And you would go at like 9 o'clock at night. You go till like 11. And it was 2 hours, and there weren't really chaperones. There were just the people who ran the rink.
Are we talking 13 or 17?
I'm talking both,
Wow.
13 through 17. I mean, you could go
Only both, no in between.
No, I mean, and all of the in betweens. But because it was a skating rink, like there were parts of it that were really fairly well lit, and then parts of it that were not well lit
Keith, that
at
sounds
all.
like- That sounds where the funny business happens.
Definitely, there was funny business. There are definitely people who were like also like
17-year-olds at a dimly lit skating
the
rink.
kids were working together, and what I mean was there would be the dark corners, and what their friends would do was cluster groups of people in front of the dark corners so that people could go in the dark corner to make out, and you kind of had a high school human shield of dancers so that the person whose perspective of like the owners who were watching, the quote unquote chaperones, could not see beyond those people.
That's gay.
But
Also,
like, did you guys have like a community dance building?
No, we Friday night lights were for us Texas football. So every Friday night was a huge football game.
Exactly.
The entire town went to
then
the football game.
after
No,
the
we didn't
football
have that because I think we were a developmental suburb. So like we didn't have like we had a lot of old stuff, but it was all like old German stuff. So that was kind of weird. Like we had like our Wiener house. It was a German settled town.
Oh, okay.
So there was like a Wiener house and like there's like one bar the adults went to, but we were too young for it. So most people went to other kids' houses or they'd go mudding.
I'm
in
sorry,
trucks.
what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They did that
yeah.
at night?
Yeah, because we were like
Whoa,
suburb
whoa.
and then country. So some kids would be like,
I'm a
we're gonna-
Yankee over here.
The fuck goes
is-
mudding in the
what-
dark?
I'm sorry. Better question. What the fuck is mudding?
It's you just take a truck and then you go to like a real fucking wet field and you fucking just spin that truck around until it's covered in mud.
Imagine doing donuts in a parking lot, but it's not paved. It's just
That
a pile
mud.
of mud.
That sounds incredible. Can we do that?
You'd see trucks driving through town, and the entire thing, except for like a little bit of the windshield that had been cleaned, was caked in mud. Like you couldn't see out of the side windows, you couldn't see out of the back windows. The whole fucking truck was brown.
That would just destroy the fields, right? Like any grass that was
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to grow,
Do it
just
in a
wrecked.
field.
No, it's more
You
just
do it
like
in, like
in,
a riverbed or something.
yeah, somewhere was really muddy.
You
It's a
know,
riverbed.
it's where the river isn't always full of water, so sometimes it's not in the rainy season, so it's like kind of muddy, but it's not that.
We had like a YMCA style building, but we also like I think our town was probably bigger than yours.
Yeah,
because
it was.
We were just outside of Austin, so
Yeah.
we were still very country, but we weren't small enough where we had to have a dedicated social area.
Yeah,
you know what I
Happy
mean?
J skating rink.
Yeah. We still had like cliques, and we had to go to friends' houses, or there was a lot of like activities at the school, but there wasn't a Happy J.
our extra social or like outside of school dances were cotillions, which was like just
Oh, yeah.
you had kids from a bunch of different schools that then there was like a schedule of, you'd have like 6 or 8 dances over the course of the year at various places
But any
around
old
town.
kid could go.
How old are you guys all
I think
talking?
so.
I'm
I
like,
think you-
I'm very lost here. How old are you?
This is
for
middle school.
middle school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Middle to high school.
And cotillion is like fancy man school,
That's
right? They also
fancy.
have like
Yeah,
how you
a lot of the dances would be at like the country club.
Yeah.
I ain't never been to no cotillion.
I'll take the filet mignon. I'll
Yeah.
take the.
I don't think I had any real dances in middle school, other than like I had dances at sleepaway camp when I was in what grade? I'm like 4th and 5th
Fourth
grade,
through
and I
sixth,
don't
yeah.
think we had middle school dances. We would just get dropped off at Applebee's, get some slamming apps, and go see a movie. That was my life. That
Yeah,
was
we didn't have a movie theater within an hour's drive,
Oh my god!
so that wasn't an option.
Wow.
Oh, no movies?
Yeah, bro, I lived
no.
in fucking nowhere. I know I mentioned it a lot, but I literally lived
But you
in
had an ice
fucking nowhere.
skating
But you had
rink.
Happy J's.
No, it was a roller skating rink.
Oh,
In the 90s, our biggest thing we had was a roller skating rink.
Yeah.
That was it. That was where every birthday party happened. And we just called it Happy J's. That's where my karate lessons were. That was like the only place that anything happened.
You still know karate?
Hell yeah. I got all the way I got all the way to yellow belt, which
shit.
is the second of 8 or so. No, I mean it was a very safe place to grow up, but in like we didn't lock our doors of our house because like if somebody stole from you, you would know. It wouldn't happen. Like, well, that's mine, Daryl. Give it back. But there was nothing to do. There were many churches. Like there were probably 15 churches for a town of 2,000 people. There was we didn't get a McDonald's in the town until 2003.
2,000 people was the whole town?
It was the whole town. It was the county seat. It was the big town.
Whoa.
So there were towns. There were like Pleasant Shade, which was a nearby town, had like, I don't know, 350 people. Defeated was a town. They had an elementary school, which name was Defeated Elementary. So funny. It never got lost on me how funny that was. There was Red Boiling Springs.
Oddly enough, they're state champs.
They're not. Red Boiling Springs, which I assume that it was just a babbling brook and they called it Red Boiling Springs because there was clay. There were clay beds in some part of it, so it had like red water.
But you really didn't have a good time in our outdoorsy video.
Yeah, just because I grew up there didn't mean I liked camping. I never liked camping. I'm allergic to like hay.
He
I was
dreamed
allergic
of
to a lot
slamming apps
shit.
in movie theaters. I was living his life.
Dude, that would have been incredible.
of suburbia.
When I moved to Bolingbrook, Illinois, and I had a Chili's like within a mile and a half. And also, you had a TGI Fridays. You had like everything. I moved to like
Had
suburbia
a
that
mall.
had a mall, and I was like, this is fucking nuts. There were 3 Starbucks across the street from one another in one intersection. I was like, this is nuts. I could do anything.
I just realized that Eat the Menu is Keith's lost childhood.
Yeah.
It's like his Rosebud where there's dying breath.
Yeah.
It's just TGI.
Again, with these crazy times, it can be very easy to feel stressed, to need something to help you calm down. And something that can really help you calm down safely is Caliper CBD.
Yeah, CBD helps you feel better without drastic changes to your routine.
I use it often just to help me sleep a little bit easier. Sometimes my mind is running with stuff going on, whether it's work or just the country at large. And having this powder, mixed into my evening, even just water, like I often will put it in a little bit of juice. Something sweet, little nice sweet nightcap.
Yeah, and it's completely tasteless, which is nice. Sometimes you might not prefer, funny tasting little tinctures.
Also, check this out. We're introducing Swift Stixx, the first individually dosed flavored CBD powder that dissolves right on your tongue. Remember like the little powder like candy sticks you had when you were a kid? This is kind of like that, except they're good for you.
Choose from Cool Mint, Lemon Lime, and Mixed Berry. Finally, CBD that's tasty and convenient. Subscribe to save 10% and get free shipping on every order, and it makes the perfect gift for a friend like you, Keith, for treating yourself, Keith. Yes! Right now, you can get 10% off your Caliper CBD subscription. Use promo code TRYGUYS at trycaliper.com/TRYGUYS.
Try Caliper CBD risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they're going to give you a full refund, baby.
Wow!
Woo! That's trycaliper.com/TryGuys. Don't forget promo code TRYGUYS for 10% off your subscription. Yeah, I mean, when we would go to Red Lobster, and I thought this is the greatest day of my life because it was in Nashville. Like we could only go to like a Red Lobster or a place like that if we were going to have a day at the mall. Now, my parents also did not really love our tiny town with nothing to do, so every single weekend we drove an hour to an hour and a half to go somewhere else. And go to a mall, go shop, go eat, go see a movie, etc. But all that had to be like planned. We had to like spend the whole day in Nashville.
You were rarities in your town where I imagine a lot of people in your town, like they grew up there, their parents grew up there, their grandparents, whereas your
100%.
family came in from the Northeast for mining?
My parents were from New Jersey and New York. That's where they were both born. Then they had lived in Pennsylvania before we went to Carthage, and we moved there because my dad is a mining engineer. He was in Pennsylvania before that. Lots of mines there.
Yep.
Tennessee, lots of mines there. Moved to Illinois. Lots of mines there. So like that was sort of the reason we moved.
Does
and
he
now,
still work?
Huh?
Does he still?
No, he's retired, but he is now like does consulting for mines because my dad's like very, very, very smart. He's a underground mining engineer. So he designs the mines underground to be safe so that people won't die as they explode parts of the underground.
It's so crazy.
Like
Wow.
he was so he came to Illinois to do quarries are the big empty holes that blow dust everywhere because it's just how we get like all of the rock for sidewalks, for roads, everything like that. But all the cities hate it because it blows dust everywhere. So all quarries, like from a mandate, were like trying to go underground. But to do that, they're giant. They're like 100-foot ceiling mines. So like they're huge, but they're harder to do and figure out. And my dad was able to figure it out well enough for Vulcan Mining, which is like one of the largest mining corporations there is. So when we moved to like Bolingbrook, he just came. Right. Yeah. He just came to like help that one mine go underground. And he was so good at it. Like within a year, he was in charge of the underground mine division of like Vulcan Materials. which is like one of the largest mining companies in the world.
Sounds like something out of a sci-fi, but it's a real company.
It's a real company, and he's very, very good at it. And he goes to other places and tells them what they're doing wrong because he can like walk in and very quickly figure out what's wrong about this mine and why it's unsafe. And he's like, you need to make this safer, and et cetera, et cetera.
Does he ever get called in like, there's been an accident? We need Donald Habersberger.
No, because if there's been an accident, it's too late for what he could do.
Oh.
He's he was on a mine rescue team actually when he was younger. So
Cool.
mining is the only company that has its own safety and health administration, and he was on a mine rescue team, which meant like if something did go wrong, he would go in and help pull people out.
Would he get called at like 4 a.m? It's like, honey, I gotta go underground.
You know, I don't know if he. Well, first of all, he woke up at 4 a.m. every day and went to the like he was at work at 5 a.m.
Jeez.
Wow.
Because in addition to being a very, very smart guy, he actually also put his work shift to be from 5 to 3 so he could come home and still hang out with us.
That's
sweet.
adorable.
So, very hardworking guy, very, very smart, nice dude.
Well, Sandy Andy, we hope this helps with the school dance.
Yeah, I mean, my dad did not help me learn to dance and probably flirt with women. I'd say he was very shy in that regard. So yeah, I did not get very good dating advice from my dad. But that wasn't what he was there for, you know? He was there to play Frisbee with me. He's good Frisbee as well.
Good Frisbee and building mines.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cool specific.
Yeah, and like he also like he basically uses similar to like other like 3D printing software because he has like rendering software, but it's for making 3D models of mines. So it's like a different use of the same technology that some people in our field would use.
What about your dads?
What about your dads? Let's talk about dads.
Yeah, let's go around and everyone introduce your dad.
Zach's got a rock star dad.
Yeah, Zach's a
Zach
rock
dad
star.
has the coolest title.
Yeah.
Daddy Kornfeld, Adam. I think they listen to the podcast. Hi, Dad. They anytime I talk about anything, like with my health or like last week we talked about depression, my mom texts me, she's like, hey, so I'm just checking in, seeing, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, you listen to the podcast? She's like, yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, my dad is a concert booking agent, so he works with bands and books and schedules their tours. He actually scheduled our tour, which was the coolest thing to be able to work. Like, I knew what my dad did kind of, but then being able to be one of his bands, quote unquote, it was a really deeply meaningful experience last summer. I mean, the tour was so meaningful for so many reasons, but we got to spend the whole summer with my dad, basically.
It was
cool.
fun to hang out with your dad. It was like we would just be hanging out with Zach's dad.
All the time.
It was great. It was really cool.
But it was, I mean, such a cool childhood because I got to go to, I mean, my entire childhood was just concerts. That's all my memories was. Like, my first vivid memory, I'm sure I've told this, was going to see Metallica they did a tour with the New York Philharmonic. So it's like heavy metal and orchestra. It was a really, really cool tour. And
That's awesome.
It was, I mean, it's great. There are recordings of it you can go check out. You know those like giant headphones that you would give Wes if things were loud? Like,
Yeah.
like earmuffs. So he gives those to me backstage, and he's like, hey, also I got to go backstage all the time.
That's
Like as a kid, like
fucking
you're
dope.
just seeing rock stars like in their dressing rooms and stuff. But he goes, don't take this off. No matter what you do, it is the loudest sound produced on earth. Do not take this off. And so we're standing next to speakers. For the second he looks away, I take him off, and every sound that's ever been produced in human history just floods my tiny little skull, and I felt so goddamn alive.
Yeah, I bet.
All right.
Wow.
Jeez, that's so loud for a child.
You were
It
right
was-
next to the speaker?
That's my memory of it, but I couldn't really hear your question. But yeah, that
Funny,
was
we did that actually sound test recently, and you actually had the best ears still.
weird.
It was crazy to me.
Yeah, it feels wrong.
Mine is the worst, but that makes sense because I did like 8 years of being in bands where I sat in front of trumpet players who played super fucking
It also
loud.
makes me think that age is bigger
Yeah,
factor
I think that's also
than
true,
rock
yeah.
concerts.
Yeah.
Even just a few years could make a hell of a difference. My knee 3 years ago, way better than my knee now.
Oh, yeah.
Because of him doing what he did, I have like very funny memories from childhood and very cool ones. Like, right, like I've seen Billy Joel probably over 25 times. Like I just have gone to so many concerts in my life. My first memory is falling asleep to Billy Joel and Elton John singing "Can You Feel the?" They did like a tour together. It was Elton John singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" as I fell asleep. That's my first memory.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Were they in your room?
No. It was
Oh,
a
you were just
concert.
sleeping at the concert.
Yeah. I was a child.
Getting
so-
late, you're a kid.
But there were a couple New Year's in a row where I saw very goofy concerts, And so the way that I rung in the millennium, the year 2000, the biggest event of, in the make, it was at a Michael Bolton charity concert. So I was with a bunch of horny 50-year-old women dancing to Michael Bolton and his cover of Sexual Healing. And it was just the weirdest show that you could ever possibly be at.
Michael Bolton, he's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's my daddy.
Wow. Cool daddy.
Cool daddy.
Cool daddy. My daddy is an internist at a hospital. So that means he's a doctor. His specialty is internal medicine, which I didn't really know what it was at
What does
first.
that mean? What?
It kind of is like an everything doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily, your internal organs, but they also have to know about a lot of different specialties because then they might need to know, I need for this type of thing that's going on, I need to like loop in this specialist or this specialist. So it's kind of like the first person that sees you.
And then you got to go backstage at the hospital a lot.
I got to go backstage at the hospital. No, it is true. I did actually get to see some cool stuff. I remember one time he took me into like a surgery observation room.
What? No.
Whoa, like the ones where you're like on the ceiling, like in the shows where you look down. into
Yeah.
it?
And they had like a TV for the orthoscopic camera. Or the laparoscopic camera.
Hell yeah.
And so like I'm watching this surgery happen like on the TV and you see the surgeons and all the assistants like working like there, right? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that camera's literally in
the camera
guts.
is inside. So I remember exactly what it was. It was like a stomach surgery where someone had such bad acid reflux that there's a surgical intervention where you can like take the tube of someone's esophagus where it connects the stomach and like pinch off a little bit and then fold it over in on itself. So you're basically surgically making someone's like esophagus to stomach connection tighter and smaller if, drugs aren't working, if they're still getting really bad acid reflux. Super cool. And you could see like there was a little like cauterizing like scissor thing that was like, and it was all like the surgeon's doing it with his hands, but it's on these long poles, and with little tiny like tweezer type of things, but then it's actually inside someone's body.
If you want to know visually what Ned's talking about, you can actually watch the video I did at BuzzFeed where I had a hernia surgery.
Don't give them the
Well, don't worry. Surgery videos can't be monetized on YouTube.
Go give them the
Go
view.
check
So they
out
can't make
that
any money from my guts anymore.
Video with Keith on BuzzFeed,
But
and then
it's-
come right back to
it's just
youtube.com/TryGuys.
I mean, well, hey, look, our audience going over there sometimes helps the algorithm send them back over here, so it's okay.
Yep.
But it is crazy that how those work because like the little camera is nuts and it looks like these little alligator mouths doing little work. They're tiny little hands. But mine was done with a robot. So it was even fucking weirder because he was actually basically playing a video game inside of my guts. How cool is that?
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Miles also a hernia brother over there.
Yeah, what's up, hernia, bro? I thought I was having a re-hernia,
Uh-huh.
but it
a
turns
little rehern.
a little rehern, but it turns out I've been sitting with my legs crossed, and that's not good for you.
Oh, I do
What?
that a lot.
Like this? Like what I'm doing right now?
So yeah, I mean, I think
what-
it's a little different because you're on a couch, but like I've been, we've upped our podcast game, so I'm sitting at my desk a lot more, and I'm working from home and like not shooting stuff as much, so I'm sitting way more, and my legs are crossed.
Wait, can you show me? What are you talking
All
about?
right, so my legs are crossed like this.
What's wrong with that? I do that all the time.
So yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure. Do you ever have back problems, Zach?
Well, chronically, Miles. And
Sure. Yeah, of course, right. But what it does is it throws your hips out of alignment. So when your legs are crossed, your hips are tilted. And if you stay like that for a long time, your hip flexors shorten. And so
Shit.
not only will you have back problems, but sometimes I have pain in the front, like in my abdomen and stuff. And I thought that was hernia pain, but it's not. It's because my hips are tilted and it's putting tension on my abdomen.
On your scar tissue.
And the doctor said, go to physical therapy.
Keith, let me know if I got a hernia. Because
Okay.
I've been wondering, like, I feel like I did a bit too many sit-ups in the sit-up challenge.
or perhaps the squat video.
Or perhaps the squat
I'd say
video.
that would-
You've been hurting ever since then.
No, but yes, I kind of like hurt myself after that. So it wasn't directly connected, but I haven't.
Probably,
I
yeah.
basically had to kind of keep the foot off the gas for about a month or so. It's like right here, like almost next to my dick.
Dude, that is prime hernia location.
Oh, no,
for
I
sure.
thought I had strained my groin at one point.
And how long has the pain been happening, Ned?
Like a month.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it could be, but also hernias are not like fatal. Like you can live your whole life with a hernia and never get it repaired, and eventually the pain can subside as long as it doesn't get any bigger.
Oh no.
The problem is if it starts to get bigger, what a hernia technically is basically your intestines getting through your muscle wall, and the danger of it can be that a part of your intestine can get so far through that it can't go back in, and the muscle wall can then pinch it, and then that part of your intestine can die, and then it can be dangerous.
Oh no.
But that's very rare.
I am like, I was trying to wait for Eugene's daddy to go pee, but I can't.
You're
I'm
gonna go
gonna
pee.
die, so I'm gonna do my next segment called Zach Goes to Pee while you guys talk about hernias.
okay.
I'll be
That
right
sounds
back.
good.
Hey, Keith.
Huh.
Between never-ending laundry cycles and incoming emails, you've got plenty on your to-do list.
You know it.
You know what? You should give yourself one less thing to worry about and let DoorDash take care of your next meal.
I will, because DoorDash is the app that brings me food that I've been craving right now, right to my door.
Well, it's not just about you, Keith. It's about me, too.
No, it's
Ordering is
only
easy.
for me.
No, it's me, too. Everyone.
No.
It's for me and everyone, Keith.
What?
Yeah, ordering is easy for everyone. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you, not just Keith, wants to eat, and your food will be left safely outside your door with a new contactless delivery drop-off setting.
There's over 300,000 partners in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, so you can support your local go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's,
Ooh.
and the Cheesecake Factory.
Cake! Many of your favorite local restaurants are still open for delivery. Just open the DoorDash app, select your favorite local restaurant, and your food will be left at your door. More like door drop, but really it's DoorDash.
It's really DoorDash. It's not Door Drop.
No.
Anyway, all right. Right now, you guys can get $5 off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code TRYGUYS.
That's $5 off your order and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code TRYGUYS. Don't forget, that's code TRYGUYS for $5 off your first order with DoorDash.
Yeah, I was playing soccer in the backyard. I
Uh-huh.
reached my foot out to I was juggling.
Yeah.
And it just I thought I had reached it too far without stretching. I wasn't. I was just playing with Wes. It wasn't like an athletic session.
No, yeah. When it hurts, on the times that it hurts, is there any nausea associated with
No.
the pain?
No,
Okay,
no.
so that's a good sign. Because when it hurts and there's
Yeah.
nausea, that means it's definitely a hernia.
Oh.
And it's just because it's your guts, right? Your guts are getting pinched, so it kind
You
of
could have
feels
pulled
like
a muscle, like a
you
really
could have
deep
just
muscle.
really strained a muscle.
Pulled a crotch muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can and you
That's
can
not my groin, but just my upper dick muscle.
Yeah, I mean
Your
there's
dick's huge, right?
Yeah.
There's muscles.
So yeah, it could be your dick.
There's muscles all around, right? There's muscles everywhere. That's just
Yeah.
how your body is. But I'd say,
But I'm a little concerned it hasn't healed yet. I've tried this. I mean, I have been going jogging a lot because that doesn't seem to aggravate it as much as sit-ups.
Mhm.
Do you do squats?
Yeah.
Don't do squats anymore.
Oh.
If you're worried you have a hernia, squats are the worst thing for a hernia.
But I
'cause it
like
opens
doing
it up.
squats.
I
Well,
get that.
there you go. So that also
Yeah,
like
maybe that's it. I've been doing a lot of squats.
yeah.
Yeah,
that
you
could
should
be
probably
it.
go to the doctor just to check.
or call your dad.
Yeah, that's a segue is anytime I was hurt growing up, and to some extent as an adult, but I feel like I'm an adult now. I don't. But I would ask my dad, and he would let me know oh, you just do this, or oh, we should go see someone. Or if I was really hurt, he would call ahead to the hospital and be like, my son is coming.
Prepare the room.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare the finest
No, but
suite.
he would he would check to see who was on call because it was just his coworkers.
Mhm.
That was kind of cool.
I had a hernia too. knew
You
that,
did?
right?
You did?
Oh, I
didn't know
think I
that.
remember you saying
I had it
that.
when
But
I
it was
was
when you were a child.
2 years old, and I had to get surgery when I was 7.
That's
Oh.
your old
Oh.
hernia.
I had it for 5 years.
So that
So
was
as a child, I thought every time I went to the restroom or strained, this entire side of my abdomen ballooned out 3 times as large.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's intense.
It was pretty intense.
Whoa.
That's a
And
bad
at one
one.
point, it was almost going to die.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
so-
had to get surgery.
Whoa.
And the reason I got it was as a 2-year-old, I was already lifting smaller children constantly. Because I was surrounded by other kids in the neighborhood who were smaller than me. And I was just very into lifting big
And
stuff.
that's why you now hate kids.
Maybe.
That's your
Because of
origin
my
story.
hernia.
They hurt you, and you go, I don't trust those babies. They're gonna give me a hernia.
Yeah, heavy babies.
Tell me
Yeah.
about the little bubble. Was it like a squishy, like a fun squishy?
Kind of squishy, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, better than like a hard bubble. No one likes a
No,
hard
it's-
I
bubble.
don't
Because it's your
think I have a
intestine.
bubble. Also, the six-pack video starts out with me joking, "Do I has hernia?" And that was a joke. I didn't think that I had a hernia. But now, 6 months later...
If you don't have a bubble, your hernia is not even worth being worried about.
But he said it hurts him when he goes pee-pee.
But I would say that if you're worried you have a hernia, maybe...
he said it hurts next to your pee-pee?
No. Well, yes, next to.
Oh, maybe I was
But it
just
hurts
thinking
when
about-
I'm like doing squats or sit-ups.
lay off the
thinking
squats.
about-
That's definitely going to exacerbate it.
Dang.
Just lay off the squats for a little bit.
Well, what would
'Cause
you
if
rather
it's-
have? An unruptured hernia or a booty? A bad booty?
I want to have a rockin' bod.
Okay, well then you got to
big
rupture
old
that hernia,
booty.
bro.
Ned, you just got to go to the doctor. He's going
Yeah.
to put his finger in your ball sack
Okay.
and see if you have a hernia. That's what it is.
No, you're
Yes.
kidding me.
I had it done very recently.
That's what they do?
Yeah.
Kind of. It
What are you
depends on where the
talking
hernia
about?
is.
Well,
When you
no,
say
that's how they
in-
test for hernia.
You
is
say a finger in your ball sack.
they
What
put
does
your
that mean?
finger up your ball sack and into your
Guts.
your lower abdomen.
Guys, so many things. I'm connecting so many fucking dots right now. That's why you were able to tuck when we were doing drag, because you got
No,
hernia surgery.
no,
so you got
nothing
That's
to
Not
do
at all.
why. Yeah,
has
that's
nothing
what
to
I'm
do with
hearing.
it.
It's because I'm a badass.
Because
not
he's
afraid
tougher
of my
than you.
balls.
He's tough.
Oh, he sucked the intestines in to make space for the nutsack.
Yeah,
Not
that's
a
what
chance.
all
No.
drag queens, successful drag queens,
Have had
actually have had
hernias.
hernias,
Mhm.
and that's
Well,
how
it's very
they
common.
do it.
It's very common for taller men to get hernias.
Yeah.
Mine
I'm
was
just
actually
so tall.
like it was not a hernia from overexerting myself. It was a hernia because I was a giant, and I always had a hernia, and it was just a matter of time for when it was going to develop into a problem.
I'm so safe. I'm never gonna have a hernia.
Did you have less likely to have a hernia?
But you cross
actually?
your legs a lot. Miles said that was bad.
Fuck, I keep crossing my
Yeah,
legs.
and by the way, I am
What's
a doctor.
happening?
It's not. It's just. Oh God, your clamp is
happening?
falling.
My mic is-
Your clamp is falling off.
It's got
the
a
table
hernia.
here.
This is that the table is broken.
Yeah.
These tables seem.
This table sucks.
We need a new office. I'm ready for it.
If anybody out there has a hernia, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's a thing you need to take care of. It can
Don't be embarrassed.
be a fucking problem. Your intestines can die.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you think you have a hernia, don't go get a scan where you lay down to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you lay down, your hernia is not you can't see it because there's no pressure forcing things to bulge out, because if you're laying on your back, everything's laying flat. When you're standing up, the hernia is much more obvious and apparent. So if you're not sure what it is, but you think it's a hernia, just go to a hernia doctor. Don't go to your normal doctor, because he's going to recommend you go get like a fucking ultrasound or something like that. It's going to show nothing, and it's going to cost you money. That's what I did. I went and got several scans because they didn't know what it was, because I was not going to a hernia specialist, and I had to self-diagnose myself with a hernia.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
go to a doctor who's like, yeah, it's clear you have a pretty advanced hernia. Does it hurt? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, well, then you should surgically repair it. I'm like, well, damn it.
Yeah.
I'd gone so long in my life without a surgery, and then I had to have a pretty
I feel
goofy
like
one.
since now I have like about 2 months before the baby comes, if that, it's like I gotta like take care of my life now.
Yeah.
I'm about to go back into the trenches again.
Yeah, otherwise it's gonna be 18 years.
It's
so
gonna
you
be
can
Merry
repair that.
Christmas to me.
Yeah, you could go. I think you could
18
go.
years.
Just get a consultation and see if you have a hernia. Just because
I
if you
have
do,
heard
you
the
should
word
monitor
hernia
it.
so many times. I'm
Hernia.
gonna scream.
Hernia hysteria.
No more here, hernia. Eugene, I want to know about your dad.
Doesn't it
Hernia
sound kind of like
Granger.
a British character?
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hernia,
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 It's-
is the pasta ready?
Eugene, who's your daddy?
Helena,
dad?
and hernia.
My
your
dad's
daddy? Who's
cool.
your daddy?
He is cool.
He's a cool guy. You've seen him in videos. He
Loves golf.
He loves golf. He
Loves
was. I don't know how to
Salmon and
explain
golf.
what he did. He's a doctor, but he worked. He's retired. He worked at a psychiatric ward.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned this, a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
But he studied to be an anesthesiologist. It's a very long story. It's a very dark story.
Your dad's remarkable now, though, for his habits. Like his.
Yeah, his habits are crazy, but his work was crazier. Like,
okay, then go.
His work was. I didn't know what he did a lot, and then when I went to his work, I was just like, these people might be sick, because I thought it was a regular hospital. So when I went to a real hospital for the
Right.
first time, quote unquote, I didn't understand what was happening. But yeah, he was dirt poor growing up in Korea. He was so poor, and he had a lot of death in his family. And so I think his goal was to be a doctor to get out of the country. And so he did that, and somehow ended up in fucking Texas. Man, he had a really miserable life. But
Texas
yeah,
is a very odd place to end up.
Yeah, it was. I think there's a long story
Yeah.
there, but there's some big city stuff that he was going to do, but then it ended up in a small town.
Hey, didn't you say you spent time in New York?
Yeah, he did it for like a year before, but that's
Cool.
before he landed a job.
Hell,
That's when he was a
that's
bachelor.
cool though.
Yeah, that's when he was like, I'm just gonna fuck
Yeah.
around 70s New York.
Dude, live it up.
Yeah.
Your dad fucked.
I think he did. He seemed like the type. He was a
Seen
good looking
pictures
man.
of him? He's handsome. He's always wearing suits.
Handsome
Aw.
dude. Yeah. But yeah, now he's crazy. He like wakes up every day to golf because he's retired. So he golfs and he's in his 70s. So
Every day.
every day.
It's
Every
Whoa.
single
The same
day.
course.
Different courses in Austin.
Has
but
he
has
gotten
a,
really good?
He's
Nice,
incredible. Yeah. He plays with his like Korean crew. He goes at like 5 a.m. every day, golfs until about noon or 1 p.m., then goes to the gym, then does yoga, and then watches golf on the TV while he eats salmon and rice every day.
Wow.
He has like an 8-pack.
Just working his craft.
Yeah. He does yoga, gym, golf. He's just really obsessed with like routine and health.
Yeah, I think is he the oldest Try-Daddy and definitely the most fit.
He's probably the oldest. Yeah. He had us
Yeah.
when he was older. But yeah, he's incredible. He's a great guy. He's certainly become kind of a hippie dippy because his my stepmom is very much sort of like an ex-hippie, sort of like an ex-flower child.
yeah.
So she's very progressive.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when I met your dad, I think you mentioned, just to like give us something to talk about, you mentioned that I do yoga a lot, and your dad, like, I could just tell he was like, there was a glimmer in his eye, and he was proud of me, and I was happy. I was like, Jay's got me.
You do.
He was like, oh, one of mine.
Namaste.
You like salmon? I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, all
Yeah,
right.
but you
It
know
was
what? Bringing it back full circle to top of pod, we got my dad to vote for Biden
Yeah,
in Texas.
Go off.
A swing state.
a lifelong
Wow.
Republican, right?
A lifelong Texan Republican.
Yeah,
He is going to vote for Biden.
it's amazing.
After years of screaming at my dad. He's a great guy. He certainly has stayed in his ways. There's a lot of listeners who probably have conservative parents. But he's not really socially conservative because obviously he popped me out.
Right.
But you know,
He popped you right out.
he popped me right out. But, you know, it's really hard. He popped me right out of his hernia.
Yeah.
That's how boys are born. out of
True.
hernias.
It is a big enough hole for a
very
baby
Zeus
to pass through.
Greek mythology. But yeah, interesting conversations. But we got him to the point where he was like, you know what, I don't want to support Trump. So I was like, good.
It's very common with us, with first generation immigrants, to, you know, they came to this country to earn their own money, and so a lot of more socially progressive, no, not socially,
Fiscally conservative.
Yeah, well, they become
Yeah.
fiscally conservative because they're like, I worked for my money, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
Maggie's dad was the same way, where he was lifelong Republican.
We chatted about it, but there's quite a few cultures like in Asia, Latin America, that our parents and grandparents' generations were fleeing from wars,
Right.
and the enemy in their eyes were communists or socialists.
Right.
And so
Socialism.
this idea that is now being looped incorrectly with a lot of progressive movements is scary to a lot of immigrant parents.
And understandably.
And it's understandable. Like it's very big in like the Cuban American community, very big in the Vietnamese community. Like it's a real big thing that you have to kind of like take a step back and be like, oh, you ran from a regime, and now this thing is just being like displaced mentally. But I think that once you're in this country long enough though, and I think your kids can help inform you. I think my dad's on board.
We did 20 minutes on hernia. We could have been talking about communism this whole time. I would have.
Oh, one wants to talk about.
No. All those definitions are mixed up.
I want to one more thing about our dads. That
I was going to say one more thing about hernias.
No, about our dads is that, like, my dad was also a Republican for a long part of his life. I think he still is a Republican, but he's been voting Democrat because the Republican Party doesn't really reflect traditional Republican values anymore. But what's been very cool to see my parents fight right-wing trolls on Facebook.
It's adorable.
Because that feels like something that our generation really spearheaded for a while. And to see my dad, who is very, very non-confrontational, very like, everyone can get along in this world. It should be easy for that to be like, when people are writing horrible things, he's like, this is simply not true. And he like will list it out in a very like dad way of why it's problematic. And like, it's very cool to see my parents, and as any parents, fighting the same fight that we're fighting, like on Twitter, but they're fighting it on Facebook. It's just very cool.
Which, by the way, we're in the wrong place. Twitter's an echo chamber. If you really want to dive into the muck, you got to get to the source.
I mean,
It's
I go on Facebook to fight. I fight against. I'm popping into Carthage people's Facebook accounts so much, I'm getting blocked by people in Carthage
believe
left
it.
and right.
Wow.
It has been really fun. They're wrong, and that's too bad for them.
I'm like over here on my Instagram trying to, sway the 5% of my followers who disagree with me. But Facebook?
Dude, Facebook.
That's where the shit's
That's
going
the
down.
Wild West. Facebook is a dangerous place.
Goddamn, we started with Sandy Andy's beautiful question about child dances and then got to hometowns and dads. And what's funny is that now that I think about it, like my hometown in Texas was like Carthage when I was born. It was like a small town. There's nobody there. And through my life growing up there, it kind of became more like, I guess, a Jacksonville. It got like, there was a highway that cut through it. There was a McDonald's.
You were there.
People of color started moving in, and that is what is happening to places like Texas, like at large. That's why Texas might swing blue. It already is technically blue, and I would argue that tooth and nail.
Yeah,
it is. And don't look up the voter
Huge
suppression
gerrymander.
there. It's
Texans, if
pretty
you're out
crazy.
there, vote down.
But I
ballot.
think it's really interesting because like that is the cultural shift that's happening by 2050. Hispanic and Latino population, people of that descent, are going to essentially be larger than the white American population. Like this is something that's happening. It's the shifting face of America, and so we just might be sitting as witnesses to the real beginning of that shift, which involves a lot of friction from the far right movement. And I think that is really, I don't know. I think it's wonderful to see that people like our dads, who are just good people at heart, can pull some things like politics aside and say, you know what, I'm just going to vote for what I think is right.
if dads
Yeah.
can change, then maybe we all can change.
Yeah.
So Sandy Andy, when you're at your dance this weekend, I want you to just be wriggling that body and go, isn't it crazy that Mark Zuckerberg took half a decade to remove Holocaust denial from his platform? Also, I watched The Social Network again this weekend, and that movie still slaps. What a pathetic man Mark Zuckerberg is. Fuck him to hell. That brings us to our next and favorite segment. When you need advice about dancing, you come to us. But when you need advice about everything else, well, there's only one man you can turn to, and that man has advice that'll go for miles. This is advice that'll go for miles with your host, Miles Bonsignore.
This better be a
It's
new song.
advice that
Yes.
will go for miles.
Oh, yeah.
Tune into your radio
Fuck
station.
Mark
It's
Zuckerberg!
advice that will go for miles. Everyone get ready. Miles Nation.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
Miles Nation.
Whoa, I like that.
Hey,
It's advice that'll go for miles.
This Corinne Bailey
Advice
up in here? Fuck.
This is hot.
Thank you to Chloe Banco for the theme song.
Thank you,
Whoa.
Banco.
Yes.
Excellent.
Have you ever wanted to eat an ice cream milkshake, but you're too fucking afraid?
All the time.
First of all, you drink milkshake.
I was on such a high
No,
from
it's
Chloe's
got ice
song, and
cream.
you brought me crashing back down to earth.
What's next?
I'm in.
What's the
I'm
next
in on
sentence
this.
that can't have anything to do with the first sentence?
Milk is yucky. Ew.
Preach.
All right, now I'm back out.
OOTD? More like OATD.
Yeah.
What?
Oat milk, baby. Bring it, Miles.
Oated. Ned just got oated.
Sometimes they do oat me with my coffee order, and I'm just like, fuck!
Oat milk is good.
Drink a milkshake with oatmeal.
I keep going. Oatmeal milkshake. I'm on board.
Breakfast milkshake.
Milkshake with oat milk.
Hell yeah.
In the tub is all.
Oh.
No, back to this.
Always tub life.
Wait, rewind. Does it have to be in the tub?
Yeah.
Everybody in the tub getting
Oh
oat
my
milk.
god. Oh my god.
Everybody in the tub getting crispy.
Dude, I'm
All right,
vibing with
so
this.
I'm a oat milk like I don't favor it.
You're a
It's not my
denier.
preferred
You're wrong.
milk of choice.
You're wrong.
All right. Well, before
Give
you
him- give him
attack
a
me
chance.
personally,
This is the
I would
debate.
like to hear some arguments for why I should reconsider oat milk.
You can drink 5 glasses and not even skip a second. Milk is too fatty for me. But if I have oat milk, I can have like a glass, and I don't feel like that little glottal.
But what if I don't feel that way?
Well,
Like
here's the
I
thing.
drink milk and I go,
Yeah, I get that.
That's fine, Ned, and I understand that. I mean,
and I drink oat milk and I go, ugh.
now I'm not a strict.
Ned, you also
odor.
you drink like just glasses of milk still?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
not
Dude,
still, but I could.
If I could, I would.
But if there's extra milk in Wes's cereal bowl, I'm just like,
Oh,
slurm.
shit. Cereal
Oh,
milk is
yum.
top shelf milk.
But that's sugar milk. That's a different thing, baby.
I know, but it's top
Would you
shelf.
talk about a different thing?
Well, it's
I
sugar
drink,
milk.
It's mostly milk, and I drink it plain too.
Does Wes drink whole milk?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's good for baby.
You know,
Okay,
drinking milk. We drank milk as a kid like
Yeah.
crazy.
I did too. That's why I'm a
So much
giant.
milk.
I
I
fully
got
believe
milk.
that's why.
That was
I'm
with
huge.
the
But I'm
milk campaign
open
back then.
to new experiences.
Okay, oat milk.
So
Let's
tell me
fucking
more
hit 'em,
about
Miles.
oat
We're going to
milk.
volley back and forth here. One, I genuinely believe it's the most delicious tasting of the milks.
Okay.
tastes kind of like milk.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Well,
I think it's the tastier. It's tastier than almond milk, tastier than soy,
Of the
tastier.
fake
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
best one.
Supreme.
that's
Also-
that's the first actual point that you've scored.
Environmental impact.
Yeah.
An almond is very actually quite bad for agriculture. It requires a lot of water, especially when it's
Right.
grown here in California. Cows, disastrous for the earth. They
Yeah.
are one of the biggest
One
contributors.
of the most racist animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Go off, King.
Yeah, okay,
That's
all right.
I think my 2 points.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll say this: picture my naked body.
No,
doing it.
In the tub.
We're
Oh, so
going
this is a
backwards.
tub essential.
Going
Sexual
backwards.
harassment.
Beam me up, Daddy, because I'm putting a bath bomb in and drinking an oat milk milkshake poolside. But it's a tub.
What's your recipe for the
Okay,
oat
Not
milk
beside
milkshake?
the tub. You're in the tub.
Full fat.
Not poolside.
Tub side, baby.
Here's what I'm using: full fat Ben and Jerry's regular vanilla ice cream.
You also have real milk. That's why it tastes so good.
Yeah, and then I use oat milk.
It's really not okay. I mean, it's
Because here's-
mostly ice cream. It sounds like that sounds great.
Definitely going to be very
Mostly
rich.
ice cream
Yeah.
with a little bit of flavor oat milk. I'm
but,
fine
But
with
Ned,
it.
you got to add the bathtub, my man.
If you steam yourself
Sounds
up
nice.
like a little dumpling.
A little hot, a little
Yeah.
sweet, a little cold.
And I do usually a regular vanilla ice cream, oat milk, half a banana, and then pick your poison, brother. Peanut butter or sometimes chocolate chips in there.
Yum.
I've only done this twice. And it's been the last 2 days I did it.
Of course, that's typically how the advice
Typically
works.
how it goes. Y'all know me. Still same old G, but a bit low key.
Wow.
Did this thing last night. You guys should hear about it.
But here's my thing.
Took a
When you're
bath.
in the tub and your body is hot, you want your insides to be cold, right?
Right.
Why don't you just go outside, Miles?
Huh?
Drink the milkshake outside in the sun.
No, but then you're not getting the benefits of the bath.
I want to. One detail you said is you use bath bombs. I have only used bath bombs twice, and both times at the end of the bath, I felt disgusting. Your body felt horrible.
Yeah.
So
I've never
horrible.
done it.
I had to take a long shower to clean myself appropriately.
You're just covered
from
in a film of
Yeah,
it?
it's disgusting. And one of them had like glitter in it. It was when we were at VidCon Australia, and they gave us some sort of thing, and then my body was glittery and oily,
A nightmare.
and I was naked, and I felt awful.
Yeah, you don't. The bath bombs are to be used sparingly, and if you want to be oily after, then I suggest using a bath bomb. But if you don't want to be oily, probably don't. Just use Epsom salt.
Epsom salt,
Epsom
magnesium
salt's good.
flake if you're a real fancy bitch.
Oh shit! I haven't even heard that. Go
Yeah.
off, King.
More bath tips. I think you should
Like
have
a-
a
just
bath
a
podcast,
potent-
Miles.
I would love
Bath
to-
thoughts?
I could do it from the tub.
Just call bath bombs.
Live bath bombs.
And you're dropping hella information in the bath.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good idea.
Miles.
Go
It's weird to me that we talk about baths so much, but I do genuinely.
It is very weird.
As of late, like
I hate
I rely on soaks for my chronic pain. Like I really do like them, and I have been, we've been working on this documentary, so I've been talking to our editor Devlin a lot, and I've been like, hey, I just want to admit, like, I hope this isn't weird. Like, I'm in the bath, so if you don't want to talk to me right now, he's like, oh. You know that like 80% of the time I talk to you, I'm in the bath, and I've just never told you.
Wait,
There's just this weird thing that Devlin and I have in
also a
common.
bath phone,
he's,
bro.
he's a bather for
I
life.
do not understand
Whoa.
large men who take baths. As a large man, there's no bathtub that's ever fit my body. I don't understand how you or
I
Devlin,
know.
both large men,
boys.
can fit
or me,
into-
equally large compared to the
Zach,
world
the biggest
population.
of us all.
Keith, I said this before, but you
mean-
got to stop up the stopper really big, and then also you got to cross your legs like crisscross.
Which you said you shouldn't do.
Well, in the tub, I'll make an exception, honey.
That's got to be all the time we have left, and nothing is going to happen that's funnier than that.
Wow.
So check us out. Subscribe here. Subscribe to TryPod. Check out Baby Steps, Ned's Parenting Podcast. It's a romp.
We interviewed Rachel this week. Got the download on the mother of twins.
That must be wild. Also, check out You Can Sit With Us, the TryGUYS podcast. It's more popular than ours, but we still advertise it here anyway.
Why didn't I do this podcast land on
is
Keith?
cute.
This is
That's nice.
Like,
You guys are
real cute.
cozy.
You know?
It's like a little couch bath.
Do the subscribe.
I have an idea for next week's podcast.
What do you got?
What do you got?
Seems like people have some controversial takes in this group that are
Ooh.
head to head. We should have a debate.
Ooh, debate pod.
Debate pod. All right, that'll be fun. I want to hear
Tune
more
in
of
next
this.
week when somehow my facial hair hasn't grown an inch at all. Looks exactly the same, even though 7 days have passed. That's the TryPod for you.
Okay, well, you know what to do next. Keith, hit us with
Oh my God, guys.
theme song.
Splish splash, I was taking a blush. All about a Thursday day. Eating ice cream all the time with a little bit of oat milk.
Oh, my mic broke again.
It's the TRY and a POD. A tripod makes you filled with glee. I'm going to splish splash. I jump back in the bush. Well, how was I to know there was a tripod going on? It was a tripod and a tripod. Tripod and a tripod. Tripod and a tripod.
Until next time, stay beautiful.
Miles, your dad's a teacher, right?
Yeah, he went to Mongolia to ride horses with the reindeer people once.
Whoa, that's way more interesting than
That's a
everything we
cut.
said.